Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 56 of Preston Jensen's podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host, Preston. Tonight, we've got a really fun episode because at the time you're hearing this, Chelsey and I and our family are going to be on vacation. So we thought tonight we wanted to talk about family traditions and our lake, well, actually more like our lake family tradition. And how important it is to us with our family and how excited we are to be on this trip. I also have to do a disclaimer. This is a video podcast, so my wife told me, you've got to, what did you want me to say?
I just wanted you to let people know it's 10:30 at night. That's why I look so tired, because I am tired.
10:30 at night, we've been packing because, like I said, you guys will be hearing this on Tuesday, but we're recording this on Thursday night at, what is it?
10:30.
10:30. Yep. So I want to get this pre-recorded so you guys have an episode, and hopefully at this time we're having a blast at our lake. So tonight, Chelsey and I are going to be talking about our favorite things on our lake vacation. I'm going to let Chelsey start.
Oh, okay. Well, just like before starting, most summers it seems like we go to the lake with Preston's family for a week, and then we also get to go to the lake with my family for a week, which is really nice. And we just go to different places in Minnesota. We've kind of, with both our families, we've been going to places that were like that we've been before. But we're pretty fortunate that we get to spend so much time there. So we have a big love for Minnesota Lakes country. So
yeah, and this tradition goes way back in my family. Ever since I was little, my grandparents have been taking us to the lake for 1 week a year, and our entire family used to go to the lake. My cousins, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, and it was always the highlight of our year. So my parents decided to keep the tradition going, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. So, Chelsey, start off with,
okay.
That was a long
intro.
Yep.
So do you want me to explain kind of what we did?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
So we both wrote down like our five things that we love to do at the lake. And I didn't write them in any order because I feel like I love all of these things. And I'm sure we can think of many more, like maybe you have something different. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I love that too. So one of the things that I love about Lakes Country or going to the lake are the different lake restaurants that we only go to when it's summer or vacation. Some are like Zorba's. If you haven't been to a Zorba's, they're amazing. It's a pizza place and they're always on the lake, and there's different ones sprinkled throughout Minnesota. We like to go to a place called Fozzie's in Bemidji. There's the Cornfield Cafe, which is just a little cafe. I mean, it's not like it's like this. We think it's amazing food, but I mean, I'm sure there are places like it around there, but it's just, these are places that, we have to check off on our list when we go, or like the loggers camp, because they're experiences. They're not just restaurants.
Right. I love it. And then when we go with your family, one of the places we like to go to is Rafferty's. It's a pizza place in what is that? Nisswa.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool places in these lake country areas that are gems to eat at.
I was just thinking that they're like hidden gems. Yeah. Like if you ever get to go there, those are the places you want to go.
The problem is that usually I'm so stuffed I can't eat, that much in a weekend. But all right. My first thing is a little more specific to Big Wolf Lake, and I've actually...
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
If you guys are watching on video here, I've got an overlay. One of the things that I like is this giant sand hill. And on Big Wolf Lake, you go into the Mississippi River, right? Is that? And you go up to this sand hill. That's a natural sand hill, and it's basically just a wall of sand. So if you guys are listening to this podcast, I strongly encourage you to check out YouTube, because I'm showing a picture of the sand wall right now. This is a drone shot, and you can see how big it is compared to my boat. That's a 14-foot boat. But
that's a climb. Like, the picture almost makes it look like a flat, like, beach that you could lay out on. And that's like a big hill that you climb.
But picture this. It's just a wall of pristine sand that flows right in to crystal clear water. So it's fun to just explore around in the water, climb the hill. It's awesome. And I guess I've never been to a place like that before where they've got a hill like that. So that was one of my highlights.
I guess my things are kind of like general for lake vacations.
Yep. I was a little more specific, but that's all right.
About this lake.
Right.
Okay. And this is not, I bet you will not find this on Preston's list, but one of the big things on my list is the different lake town shopping. So we always go to towns like Walker or Park Rapids or Nisswa. So those are just some of my favorite places. And usually, like, us girls on both sides of the family, we like to at least spend like one day going around and shopping. We like to get some, Minnesota lakes country stuff. And sometimes we're able to drag the guys with, but usually they're itching to get back to the lake.
Most of the time, whenever I go shopping with the ladies, like you said, all I'm thinking about is, man, we're at a lake. Why are we wasting our time at these shops?
But that's part of our fun.
That's right. So
everybody needs to do their fun.
Everybody's got to have their fun. Yep. And you know what? It is fun to break up the action of fishing and all that stuff.
And that's when we get our breaks to, like, go to those lake country or lake town restaurants and stuff like that. Try those different things.
It's a lot of fun.
More pictures?
My next thing, yes, more pictures. One of the things I really like is the campfires at night, because, everyone gets around the campfire. You guys all know how important it is to spend time with family, and it's fun to just kind of recap the day. Kids are excited because of s'mores, and I think that's just about it. I don't know. I like sitting around the fire as long as I possibly can.
We just visit.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you see fish jumping out there, you can get your fishing pole, run out to the dock.
Or your camera. You've gotten some amazing pictures at night.
I have a lot of fun taking pictures when I'm on these vacations, as you can see in this video. But, it's just a fun time. Gather with the family, have a fire, recap the day. A lot of fun.
Yep.
Next.
That kind of goes into one of mine is, I don't know how many times we bring up memories that we have from the lake with family. And so that was one of my big highlights. And probably one of the biggest is just the memories we create with our family. And those are things that we share. We can share with Margot, and we're creating with Margot. So that's pretty special to us. We were even talking about just the other day how it's so different experiencing the lake with your own child. Like, it just makes everything more exciting and, like, brand new.
I think we're going to touch on this a little bit later in my list. So,
well, perfect.
That is truly an amazing experience to have your kid experiencing a lake tradition or a family tradition that you had growing up. It's really is the circle of life. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of shopping and trying to get back and fish, that's my next thing on the list. I absolutely love fishing. Got a couple photos here. Here's one with big walleye that I caught. This one's actually at Prairie Lake in Minnesota. We used to go to that when we first started going to the lake with my family. We went for quite a few years. And then I've got another photo just with me and my brother and my dad out on my boat fishing. In this picture, we weren't catching anything. And I know showing pictures for a podcast, not a really good idea. Tough to listen to, but it's a good way to try and get you guys drawn into my YouTube channel.
Yep.
So I'm dying to get subscribers over there. So this is one way to hopefully get you to go over and click subscribe. But even if we're not catching fish, it's a lot of fun to just go out on the boat, visit, experience the beauty that Minnesota has to offer. Crystal clear lakes, always have loons out on the lake. So there's always things to look at, even if you're not catching fish. But obviously, that's one of my favorite things to do. Usually when we're at the lake, I'm out in the boat 99% of the time. I don't know.
And we're up early. You're out there. Yeah. And that one of mine was the pontoon and the boat rides. I enjoy fishing, but I don't need to be out fishing all day. And so I like to just go for rides and explore the lake and go kind of close to the shore and see what kind of places are there. And with the lake we're going to next week, Big Wolf Lake, there's different rivers that feed into other lakes. And so there's just a whole bunch. I don't think we've ever fully explored everything because there's just not enough time.
That's what I love about it, is the exploring is
Yes.
endless because
Yes.
Big Wolf Lake is the lake we're on. It's connected via the Mississippi to Lake Andrusia and Cass Lake.
Yep.
Are those the two lakes that it's connected to?
Yep.
And I don't know how many other lakes are connected to that. That could be it. But another cool feature about Cass Lake is that I don't know if it's one of the only or
I think
the
it's the
only
in the northern hemisphere.
It's
the only one in the northern hemisphere.
And the only one we're talking about. It's got an island, and within the island is a lake that's not fed from the outside lake. So the lake is totally blocked off in an island, and it's a different lake from the lake.
Yep. So it's the only lake within a lake.
Right. Very
which
cool.
Which is really neat.
And it's a long boat ride from where we're at. However, we try to get there
at least once
a year, but it
takes at least I'd say at least an hour, if not longer, to get there. And it's hard because, we got all our family on the boat and we've got lots of little kids. So then it does get to be a long boat ride.
So out of all the years we've been going, we might have been able to go swimming inside this Star Island or Star Lake maybe twice.
Yeah, I feel like we get to Cass Lake, but we don't always go to Star Island, or we go around Star Island, or we don't always stop. I think there's a porta potty there that you could use if you need to.
I think so, and that's
and
another
lots
thing.
of people stop there.
Last year, I think it was, we almost got there, and we were running out of gas. Was that?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And then the year before that, we almost got there, and it looked like storm clouds were coming in. And I think the year before that, we almost got there, and some kids were getting a little fussy. It gets to be a long day on the boat.
We really got to time nap times, all that kind of stuff.
It's got to be perfect timing. So I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully this year we'll be able to make it all the way to Star Island. Maybe this year we'll just have to take my boat to Star Island because we'll could get there a little bit quicker. And I don't know. There's a lot of places to explore, like we had said, and it's just fun to see the wildlife. And the thing I like about exploring is when you're on the river going to these other lakes, the water is crystal clear, so you can see all the way to the bottom. You can see the turtles swimming around. You can see the fish swimming. So it's a lot of fun.
Yep. I think that was mine. So
that was mine?
No, mine.
Oh, that was yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is something I don't have on the list, but I really enjoy scuba diving when we go to the lake. The past couple of years, I haven't got to do it too often, and I've kind of gotten more into free diving just because you don't have to have the tank.
It's a lot
you don't
of stuff
have to
bring
have
with.
the wetsuit because it is a lot of equipment to bring with, and it's a lot of fun to just swim around with a snorkel and have flippers on or fins on and just kind of explore. But I like to metal detect swim areas. And people always tell me, oh, that sounds like a great hobby. I bet you find all sorts of valuable stuff. And I do find a lot of stuff, but usually it's all garbage. So the places I stay usually have the cleanest swim areas around because I find pop cans, I find bottle caps, I find nails, I find all sorts of junk like that, and I try and clean it out of the swim area so nobody's stepping on that stuff. But you never know. So I like to dig everything. You never know when you're going to find a gold chain or something like that. Haven't found one yet, but you never know.
I think the resort owner, though, didn't she say she lost like a diamond ring the end of the dock at some point?
She said she did, and hopefully one of these years I can find that and return it to her. However, I have searched and searched and searched, and I haven't found anything. And hope that would be a fun story. If I did find something like that, I would definitely be making a video about that on my YouTube channel and maybe even talking about that in this podcast.
Yep.
But so that's my next thing. Your next thing?
Okay, so I think my next thing is my last thing, right?
Yeah, probably is.
Yep. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is when we're at the lake and let's say we've finished eating somewhere or we've done something like that, we like to go and look at other lakes, or we like to look at other cabins. Like we might search like, oh, what are some cabins for sale in the area? Or we like to go look at different resorts. And so and we've done that like by boat. We've looked at resorts, and we've also driven around into the resorts and looked around, gotten brochures. But I mean, even if it's not a place we stay or anything like that, I just really enjoy finding those places. And I mean, we've been going to some of the same places for years, and we always find new things.
Yeah, exploring is awesome. It's one of Chelsey and my dream to someday own a lake cabin in Minnesota of our own, but then we keep battling with the thought of, well, actually, Chelsey doesn't so much.
No.
I keep battling with the thought of, man, cabins are crazy expensive in Minnesota right now, and it's worth it to just, well, I just keep thinking, I could rent a cabin every year for several years and will never pay that amount for a cabin actually purchasing it. But there would be something fun to own one yourself.
Maybe my mindset's just different because I'm a teacher. So I just think, oh, I could just live at a lake cabin all summer. That sounds awesome.
That would be awesome.
It's a little, But we still dream. And I mean, for those of you who maybe never driven around in Minnesota before, it's crazy because there's so many different awesome parts to Minnesota. You know, there's the cities, all that, Duluth. But like Lakes Country is just so different. Like the trees and there's just a different feel about it.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. Like I said, the wildlife is second to none. The fishing is awesome. The one thing I don't like about it is the mosquitoes. Yes. They get pretty thick, but I'm hoping this year, since it's been so warm and so dry, that the mosquitoes won't be as bad. But that brings me to my last thing, and that is experiencing family. I've got a video playing here, so once again, I hope to draw you guys over to my YouTube channel. But experiencing family and experiencing the lake vacation with our daughter. It's been a lot of fun to see her have the excitement to go on this lake vacation like I had when I was little. So we already kind of touched on that, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's going to be more fun this year because she's just getting to the point where she's interested in different things. And this year we surprised her with a new fishing pole, so hopefully she'll catch her first fish.
And we took her out on the boat here in Valley City, and she loved it. We weren't sure how she would take it, so we're pretty hopeful that she's going to love being on the boat.
I think she's going to have a lot of fun. So, I cannot wait for this lake vacation. And like I said, when you guys are listening to this, we'll already be a few days into the vacation, and I'm sure it'll be awesome. That's what's nice about scheduling one of these things, one of these podcasts and videos ahead of time, is the work is done. We'll just be able to have vacation without worrying about producing a podcast or making videos.
Yep. Especially when your guest lives here too, and you can do it at 10:30 at night.
That's exactly right. And that's another thing that I extremely enjoy is not having to worry about things at the lake. I mean, sometimes, or most of the time, I keep my phone at the cabin. I don't have my phone on me. It's just nice to unplug and disconnect from technology for a week. Yeah. So I strongly advise, if you guys don't have family traditions like this, definitely start something like this up because it's worth it. I had a drone job come up next week, and I had to tell my customer I'm going to have to turn it down. And to be honest with you, they could have paid me 100 times what I regularly charge, and I would still turn them down because this time with family is way too important. There's no amount of money that can buy something like this. So super excited. Can't wait. I'm happy to share this tradition with you guys. I'd like to hear about traditions you guys have. Message me in the comments on YouTube or message me in my podcast. I'm not really sure how you message on a podcast. Yeah. I think that you can leave comments and stuff. So
try it out.
Well, yeah, I know on Anchor you can leave voice messages. So if you guys have cool traditions and want to share that with me, maybe you guys will find yourself on a future episode talking about your family traditions. We've had a lot of fun making this episode. I had a lot of fun sitting down and making scenes for it and reminiscing on years past of this tradition. Very excited. And thank you guys for listening. I've got a lot of fun stuff planned for the future. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and we will see you again next week.